Why are you showing me a record of Tron?
Because this is my Valentine's present.
I don't think you understand that I've already hit record.
Oh, you
this
did?
Is this is the episode now.
Oh, how are my levels?
Your levels are fine because, the audience out there, the Megabyte audience, they wanted a more raw look and feel and understanding about how these episodes get made. So we just go ahead and hit record, and I just wanted everyone to realize that this is how it started. He was showing me a Tron Records because this is a video episode again, so you can be viewing this episode on our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see our shining faces as we talk today with Kyle Van Son about the latest changes to Windows 11, and there are quite a few. So, welcome. What was that? Welcome.
Welcome.
That was you saying the word welcome. So, hello and welcome everyone to the Microsoft Megabyte for February 24th, 2022. It's still 2022. Okay, I don't think I've said 2021 yet in 2022. So that's pretty good. I think I'm in the clear. Are you? Anyway.
You just said it.
Oh, shoot. Today, we are diving in deeper into the changes in Windows 11. There's so much going on. We were just, Kyle and I, talking about the recent big change log that's been posted on the Windows team development page, and there is a lot. So let's run through it, and we're going to put some images, some videos up as Kyle is talking about some of these main features because they have released some footage, some demo footage, sort of what a lot of these features look like. But otherwise, we will talk them through so that if you're just commuting in your car or listening in audio only, we can paint the picture with our verbiage. Isn't that right, Kyle?
Yes, we will elucidate quite clearly into your earlobes the various changes to Windows.
Do people hear in their earlobes?
The earlobes are certainly part of it. Otherwise, why would they be there?
What about people who don't have earlobes and they're attached? Are you saying that they're somehow lesser than? Is that the point you're trying to make?
Those are still earlobes if they're attached, surely?
I think we've covered a lot of important ground already. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Until next week. Oh, nope, we still got to talk about Windows 11.
Yes, that was the end of Science Corner.
What's going on?
All right, let's start with what people can see today. There was an update last week. If you were just doing your regular Windows updates, you may have already seen some exciting changes. And you probably heard about the first one because it was announced way back in June when we talked about Windows 11 existing and is coming soon. Android apps in Windows 11. It's live. It's launched. You can go into the store and get Kindle, Audible, Subway Surfers, your Android app of choice. There are over 1,000 available right now. If you search for them in the Microsoft Store, it'll ask you to install the Amazon App Store Preview, which is what allows you to run Android apps.
I mean, just sit on that for a second, everyone. I mean, actually using full Android apps on your Windows 11 PC. That is bananas.
Yeah, it's that promise that a Windows device can be your one device. You don't need to grab a secondary or tertiary device when you want to get that quick hit of information from an Android app that you really like. It can just all be happening on that Windows 11 PC. And if you're doing something on your Android device, you can then pick it up later because it's probably signed in with the same account and same information.
Right.
So if you're reading an ebook on Kindle, that information is just going to follow you without having to find some knockoff version or download the ebooks. I don't even know how it works. Just sign into Kindle because it's now built into Windows.
Oh, we know. I think we all know that you know how books work because earlier you said you'd like to elucidate into our earlobes, and then you followed it up by just throwing in the word tertiary device in there. And we're paying attention, Kyle. We're all paying quite attention.
I love the written word. Let's move on. Some other improvements people may be seeing right now if they've run those updates. My favorite. This was talked about internally. We knew this was coming, us trainers, us on the down low.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Universal Mute. Now, you may have seen it already. Again, if you're running the latest version of Windows 11 and you've joined any sort of audio or video meeting, if your computer's
Teams call,
using your
Zoom
microphone,
call, Slack meeting, WebEx, all of those.
Yes. If your computer's using your microphone, you'll see a microphone icon appear in the system tray, the bottom right of your taskbar. And when it's active, it'll be this big blue button. And that means your mic is on. And if you need to come off of the microphone and go on mute really quick, dogs barking, whatever, but you're doing 3 other things and you don't have that Teams or Zoom window up, just go down there and click that button and you're muted system wide.
Yeah. So whether or not you're recording a video or an audio device, or you are just in a meeting, you know that no matter what apps are using your microphone, no matter what services, what websites or maybe live stream services are using your microphone, you know you're safe. The dog barking in the background is not being picked up right now because you know you're muted everywhere.
Yes. And there's another one that sort of ties into it. It's pairing the taskbar with these conferencing solutions. And it's called taskbar sharing. I've heard it called on-air sharing. It's sharing from the taskbar. Instead of finding whatever the tool is to share your screen or share a specific window in Teams, Zoom, Slack, WebEx, what have you, you can just hover over that icon in the taskbar. And when you see that preview that pops up, you know, if you have 3 different Microsoft Edge windows open, you'll see a preview of each one. If you're in a meeting, there will be a button that says share this screen. And it'll just share it. You won't have to choose all the different options. It will just share that content right to the meeting. And you'll see the icon in like Teams change to stop sharing. And you can also stop sharing from that same tool. Hover over it again, and you can stop sharing. That window gets a big red border, so you know this is what's currently being shared. It's very exciting, just the way these different things can talk to each other through the taskbar, through Windows 11, to make it just a simpler experience.
Yeah, it's about what we talked about months ago about how the discoverability component of these Windows 11 features. And I think this one brings that home because when someone wants to share something on a call, they're going to be alt-tabbing, so to speak, over to that app anyway. They're going to be using their mouse and going over to the app that they want to share. And so now when they do that, they'll be prompted to just go ahead and start sharing it. You don't have to navigate through different menus to access it. You want to share the Word document that you've been working on? Great. Hover over Microsoft Word on the bottom and hit start sharing. It's pretty seamless and native.
Yeah. Trying to reduce those times where we all say like, can you see my screen? Am I sharing?
Yeah, right.
Am I on mute? Just all that clutter that comes with a virtual meeting. Get rid of it. Get back into actually communicating with one another. You may have also seen a change to, I'm a little sad to see it go. It was one of my favorite new icons, widgets. The little widgets icon is gone, and it's not even in the center group of icons anymore. It is now getting your local weather information in the bottom left-hand corner of your taskbar. Since widgets flies in from the left, if you want to open widgets now, other than the keyboard shortcut, which I believe is Windows key W. Yep, I just tried it myself. That's what it is. You can hover over or click on that weather icon. Right now it's, oh boy, 27 degrees and sunny here in Oregon. Woo, chilly. If I hover over it or click on that, the widgets icon or the widgets canvas swipes in from the left and I get all of my widgets. So just moving it to a more native place for where that content lives rather than clicking on an icon in the center, but having then something open on the left-hand side. It'd be strange if, you know, the calendar that's in the bottom right-hand corner was in the center with all the other icons, but it's still open from the right.
Yeah.
That's the same mentality for moving the widgets tool.
Let me see. Windows key W and 26 degrees with an exclamation point saying that I have a winter weather advisory. So hopefully we finish this recording before I guess my power shuts down and I am taken up by a winter cyclone.
Congratulations. It is a competition for who
gets destroyed
first. Dangerous weather.
Right? Yes.
Some other smaller updates. Mm-hmm. We have redesigned, this team,
you and I,
with our bare hands, redesigned Media Player, Windows Media Player, and Notepad.
Yes. I'm using Notepad right now, the new Notepad with the dark mode inherently matching the dark mode of my PC. It looks really good. That's right. Notepad looks really good.
Notepad, it's back. Just bringing these sort of legacy apps up to the modern era of Windows 11 with Fluent Design. And for as far as Media Player is concerned, combining it with Groove Music. Yes. Groove Music was the music app in Windows 10. We also had Windows Media Player. Now it's just one meshed experience. And if you had stuff in Groove, playlists, all that content, it's now just rebranded as Media Player.
I think there are a stunning number of fans of Media Player. People who've been using Media Player in Windows 10, for sure. In Windows 11, they've been using Media Player to manage their digital catalog still. And it's a very loved and adored part of, like you say, those legacy Windows apps. And it's so nice to see that Microsoft isn't just throwing them out to pasture. It's bringing those along for the new modern ride of OSs that we're on.
Well, we saw what happened with Paint, right? There was mentions in the sphere of Paint getting, sundowned, whatever, being retired, and the uproar was just like, you can't take Paint away, because there are people who love and live by these apps and are just so used to them that it's not about sending them out to pasture. They need to be brought up
they need to evolve with
modernity.
The rest of the ecosystem. Exactly.
Yeah. And the last one, and I got to give myself a pat on the back for this one, because shots called. I called it last month's podcast.
All right. Let's see.
Or last week, whenever we last chatted. The clock, the date and time is not just on your main monitor anymore. It's now across all of your extended monitors in that taskbar. You're welcome.
Well, okay. So that is actually a pretty good point. So do you think is your assumption that was a result of the feedback hub, of people sending in the feedback? Was that one of those like top things that people saw bubbling up in terms of those feedback items?
I certainly did, because I added it myself, and you can see in the feedback hub when something has been upvoted a number of times, or how many people have seconded or thumbs up, whatever that is in the feedback hub, a certain specific thing. And it was very, very popular, and it seemed like a weird thing to not be in there from the start. So to have it come in such an early update to Windows 11, I think is cool. Indicative of how people are submitting feedback, and that developers are seeing that feedback and responding to it. Speaking of developers, let's transition. That's what you can see now.
Everything you just said applies to people who are running the latest public version of Windows 11, correct?
Yes.
So they have the device that has all the specs for Windows 11. Now, these updates do roll out at different times, so you may yet be getting this update, but it's available to any home user who has a qualified Windows 11, device. So cool. Now, what you're about to talk about is, I'm guessing, the insider track. Is that true?
Yes. This is all public information.
What the heck is the insider track, first of all?
Anyone listening to this, anyone out there,
Who?
Even people not listening to this,
can become
even those people, sad though they may be, can become Windows insiders.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the settings app, you go to update and security, I believe is the area, and there should be an area to join the Windows Insider program where you can choose to get earlier build releases of Windows 11 and test out new features. And there are three different tracks, I think they're called. There's the release channel track, which is the most stable. You're getting things maybe a little bit ahead of time, but nothing too experimental.
Mm-hmm.
There's a beta track, which is nice and in the middle. You're getting some early stuff, but not anything that might be detrimental to your PC and really untested. That's meant for the developer track. That's the earliest track. Those people are getting very early features to really test them out and submit feedback and reports of bugs and other things like that.
Right.
But all of that information of what's coming to those different tracks is publicly available on the Windows Insider blog. And they just dropped a huge list of what's available for the developer channel. And there's some very exciting things in there that is going to really improve the Windows 11 experience that I thought it might be fun to share with you.
Okay. And again, if you're out there listening thinking, I'm not going to configure my machine to be an insider machine because, it might have some stability issues, which it genuinely might. It's a reasonable concern. It's still worthwhile to sort of be aware of these features, because these are oftentimes very indicative of what's going to be coming for the public release of Windows 11. So let's hear it. What are some of those changes coming to the insider track?
And everything is subject to change. Like I just said, this is the developer channel. So things based on feedback or testing might not look the way they look in these preview images. If you go to the Windows blog page and look at that insider channel, I think our video version of this podcast might even show some screenshots from this to show what I'm talking about. The first one, there's been a lot of feedback about how that new start menu looks and feels. And it has a lot of influence from smartphone designs. And one of those things we're bringing is the ability to create little folders of pinned apps together in the start menu. Right. So being able to drag icons on top of one another to create like an Office folder. All of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook could live in one cube or box on that start menu area.
Okay.
Pretty simple, and that will extend, I believe, also to the recommended area, but that remains to be seen.
Okay.
That's not a screenshot I'm seeing, but possibly.
But further helping people to organize their apps and indeed their files themselves into that more modern start experience. Really cool.
Someone's start menu is very personal to them.
It's very personal.
No two start menus are going to look alike.
No.
Brian, are you using focus sessions in Windows 11? You a focus guy?
I'm ashamed to admit that I have not yet tried that feature. No.
This is a thing. This is something Windows loves to do. We love to include like one or two features that are really great and then just like hide them in there. Because the focus sessions tool is in the clock app. And if you open clock, you'll get, the world clock, and you can set a timer or stopwatch. And then there's this area called focus sessions where you can set different times.
Right.
It'll talk to do.
Nuh-uh. Achieve your goals and get more done with focus sessions. Tell us how much time you have and we'll set up the rest. After each focus period, you'll get a short break. This will help you recharge and get ready for your next task. Well, I had a time manager. I had a digital assistant helping with my schedule this whole time. And you waited till February 24th, 2022 to tell me.
I wanted to bring it up earlier, but we had to talk about snap layouts.
And we didn't have enough. That's right. Time. So maybe we could have.
We poorly managed our time. Well, in this new developer channel and for the Windows insiders, something is coming to the quick settings area called Focus. It's going to feed into your notifications to be like a version of Do Not Disturb, where if you turn Focus on, it's going to turn off taskbar badging. It's going to turn off flashing of applications, anything that might distract you from what you're doing. And it'll work with the focus sessions in that clock app. So anything you set up there, whether it's the different tasks from To Do, you may have also seen Brian looking at it. You can even pair it with something like Spotify to play a select playlist while you do a specific task. This new Focus built into Windows 11 will pair with that focus sessions experience. It's pretty cool. I've got to mess around with it once it goes live for everybody. Let's move to accessibility.
Okay.
This developer build is bringing live captions across Windows 11.
Okay. So like how there's voice input across Windows 11. So if you want to just navigate and speak and input text with your voice anywhere across Windows 11, you can do. You're saying now there's also captioning anywhere.
Yes. According to this blog post, live captions are automatically generated on your device from any content with audio and can be displayed at the top of your screen or at the bottom.
Wow.
It's launched through the Quick Settings app in the bottom right-hand corner, the Quick Settings area. There's an accessibility button you can add to those quick settings, or a keyboard shortcut, Windows key, Control, and L will launch the live captions. The first time someone does it, they have to do a download to get the speech model
pack. Yeah.
Yep. And then after that, they can get live captions for pretty much anything playing audio across their system.
That's huge. That's actually quite huge, isn't it?
It's really big.
Yeah.
It's you might have to install some external software or rely on different applications to support live captioning. I know Teams supports it throughout when you're in a video call, but that's just inside of Teams. Mm-hmm. Bringing it system wide is a huge accessibility piece. Or even if you don't require captioning, but the ability to have them, I know for certain things helps me focus on what I'm watching.
I think it's just it's that whole fact about like that Netflix reports how many people just use captions just because they just use it, not even because they have a hearing impairment of any kind, but it just helps them, as you say, focus on the content. And I think that's going to be exactly the same for people on their PCs.
Yeah. Anyone with children knows turning those captions on is a big help. Or if you just eat chips loud, I guess.
Sometimes people are loud chip eaters.
I'm one of them.
Sorry,
everyone. One more thing. Really small, and then the last one that I'm very excited about.
So this is the penultimate thing.
This is the penultimate thing. Right now in Windows 11, if you are using OneDrive in your File Explorer, that means in File Explorer, you're seeing files and folders that are saved to your OneDrive in the cloud. It's a great way to see what you have online locally, and you can choose what's saved locally versus what's just visible, but only saved on the cloud. But if you want to see the process by which things are getting uploaded, or if there's an error with syncing, you have to go to the OneDrive icon in the system tray and deal with settings there. Well, all of that's going to get integrated into File Explorer itself. So you won't have to leave File Explorer to see sync status or download status, all that other information, just putting it in one place.
Perfect.
It's more about that discoverability piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes just the whole OneDrive story more embedded and organic into Windows itself. So when we're talking about like what are the differences between OneDrive and other cloud storage solutions? You know, Google has Dropbox, iCloud, and stuff. This just further solidifies how integrated and easy it is to use OneDrive and therefore a Microsoft 365 subscription. So nice.
Now, Brian, you and I are realists, right?
Yeah,
You know?
we're realists and we're also very attractive, and we have excellent tastes in cinema and literature. I think those are the three things people know about us. Yeah.
Those are the three things, the top three at least. When we talk about these things, you know, we're the Microsoft master trainers for the United States. So naturally, we're going to come from a place of adulation and praise for all of these different products. But we're realists, and when things slip or miss, we're going to talk about it. We've talked a lot about snap layouts and how it's easy to discover, makes it much easier to move windows around, get them organized exactly how you want, and learn that feature even exists because you just hover over that maximize button with your mouse.
Yeah.
But there's one place where it has slipped, where snap layouts kind of just doesn't work. And that is if you're using your device only with touch. If you're using it just with touch, you don't really get to see those previews of how to organize your windows.
Sure.
You've got to touch and drag a window to the left or right or into the corners and then choose what else goes where. But you will never see that little preview of all the different layouts you can get unless you turn on the touchpad and move a mouse with your finger on the screen, which is complicated and people might not even know that exists. All of that preamble to say, this developer insider build is adding an ability to snap layouts for touch, where if you drag a window up towards the center top of your screen, it'll pop down, and we can probably, if you're watching on video, we'll put the GIF that's on this blog post.
Okay.
GIF?
No.
GIF.
What? No, you can't go to Peanut Butter Town all of a sudden. It's GIF. We've decided it's GIF. Don't reopen the debate. Oh,
you're right. Graphics GIF. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. The preview of the snap layouts, just like you would see if you hover over with your mouse cursor, pops down from the top of the screen, and then you can choose with touch which of those layouts you want.
Great. Essentially
bringing snap layouts to touch first or touch only devices, which was kind of hard to do before that. Finally.
That's quite the rundown. So we have two.
It's a lot. We've talked about these updates for over 20 minutes.
I know, and we have two major categories, which are things that are available now on the main public version of version. Might even not the right. That might not be the right phrase, but the public release of Windows 11, things like Android apps, universal mute, taskbar sharing, clock across monitors, media player, those app changes, and then the stuff that is possibly coming, but that you're going to see in the insider track, like the ones that Kyle just mentioned, changes the snap layouts for touch and the start menu with the folders and things. So, there's a lot. Windows 11 is a ever evolving thing, and it's only getting better. That's really exciting for anyone who's buying a device today or interested in a Windows 11 device. This is an important story to make sure we all understand that this is an ecosystem that just gets better and better.
Yeah, and you'll want to familiarize yourself with these changes as they come. Make sure you're constantly using and learning Windows 11 as it changes. So that way, when you're demoing to a customer and you're showing off a brand new device, it's easy for you to use and therefore easy to demonstrate to that customer.
Sweet. We did it. We did nearly half an hour on Windows 11 features. They said it couldn't be done.
Let's try to include, I'm talking to you, Brian. You put all this together. Let's include the links to these blog posts so people can read up on all this information. Now I'm talking to our editor. Let's include all the GIFs and images.
Yes.
to the video version. So
Here's
people
what's
can
funny,
follow along
everyone.
and not
'Cause
just
right,
look at our
right
faces.
after I hit stop on this recording, I'm going to be creating a new to-do list, and I'm going to be tagging Kyle, asking him for the GIFs and for the links and everything. So he's really just talking to himself and giving himself tasks at this point. But we can listen in. But let's listen back.
After
Okay.
that,
Yep.
we're going to need to get back into the bedroom and lay down a coat of primer because we're done with the sanding and texturing. So now it's time to paint. And after that,
Go
we
ahead and
need
roll
to
the
drop
music.
off the cans
Roll
at
the
the
music,
recycling center.
the sign out music. There it is. Good. Okay.
That's my
all
to-do
right.
list.
Hey, thanks so much, Kyle. That's been great. We wish you the best on your sanding and your priming. And thanks so much for talking Windows 11 with us today. As we said, though, it's ever evolving and changing. So this won't be the last time. Probably get you back here on the next release update. All right, everyone. That's been Kyle. He's got to go do some DIY projects and also send us the links and the GIFs, not the peanut butter GIFs. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, everyone.
This has been the Microsoft Megabyte Podcast, a training tool for Microsoft field team members and sales professionals across the country, produced by Microsoft employees.